what I want though is I want orders, okay, and I have to have our test mark. Okay, I don't think I need orders, but we're gonna put it just in case. All right, so now I'll say go. All right, yes, recalculate. It's only 2. All right, fair enough. Close, close, close. Now we refresh. Here's our data. Now here's where it gets tricky. Not really tricky, just time consuming. So we're going to create a new cell, and we're going to call this orders data mark ds. And it has to be a normal. Actually, let's call it orders. We'll do this because we can have them both in the same data pool. I mean, both in the same data set, just 2 different data pools. All right, so save. Now the data pool is where I'll call it orders data mark. Okay, and this is just going to be a regular one. So we don't care about this because what we're doing now, let's go back to our notes before we go too much further. So what I was thinking here is I can get by product, I can get how much. So let's say I need to know how many bicycles were sold last year of type BMX. Okay, so that would be a very good query because then it would tell me how much that data was in my database. So that's kind of where we're going here. We're going to say, in English words, we're going to say how many product X sold, because we'll use our ship date, right? Sold I would say by date, but it's not okay because we're going to get the whole thing, right? So we're going to say how many product X sold. Okay. Now as a benefit, we'll get the date, we'll get the account number so we know who it is, and how much they spent. Okay, so those are kind of just cherries on the pie, if you will. So with saying that, let's now, the next part of this, what we've got to do is in our steps, if you think about the steps, number 1, we have to create a staging table or a data mark, okay, which is a physical table inside your database, okay. It doesn't have to be in the same database, but you do have to be able to register it. So to me, this is all local, so I could do whatever. The next thing is get the data I want to test, which in this case is a view. Now I didn't have to build it. It was already part of the product, so it's pretty cool. That could be a cube, it could be a view, it could be anything. It can be generated data. You can use data generation. You can use, just build a couple of subsets. It doesn't matter. Okay, you just need to get that data because this next phase, what we did was we created a pool. Guess what? Magic to hold the data. Okay, when I say test data, I mean the data we're testing. Then what we have to do is create our test match to query the pool to give results. Okay, so now let's go ahead and build this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say edit data, and I'm going to create this data manually. As you can see, I have my orders and my test match. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add a row. Okay, add one. I don't really think I have an ID. That's what made me think about it. I know we don't have a test name or a test job. And it's not really important. It could be null because I'm not really testing anything here. I'm just kind of building this out. But I'll show you some shortcuts. So shipping order, the first thing we're going to use is what we call, this is called a random love. It means a random list of values, LOV. I kind of joke and call it random love. But what we're looking for is a SQL, okay? And in our SQL, we want it to be, so we'll do a SQL love, and I want the one with a column. Give me a second to think. I think I can do any of these because then I can change them. Because I don't want a C list. Ah, this is what I want. Okay, so I just didn't go down far enough. Sorry, that's what I want. Bam. So, and I'm going to go against the data source, which is fine, because, well, technically we have to. Well, the source is where the view is, so I'm going to go against the source, but technically my source and the target are the same here, so it doesn't really matter. So this first value says, what percent do you want? How many percent nulls do you want? I don't want any, okay? So now this next one, oops, this next one actually calls a store procedure, okay? Or not store procedure, I'm sorry, SQL command. Now, that's what that SQL list is. So I'm going to write a query to bring back a list of values, and this is going to pass through them, okay? And you'll see that. I do plan to do a video on data generation, and I'll talk about some more advanced cool things you can do with these. But right now, let's just build this one out. So, and then here I want, it's going to be select all from my view. I don't remember the name of the view. That's where I brought the, oh, here it is. So order payments. So I want all by, where's my, here it is. From order payments. Now this column is pretty cool. So I can show you this. The reason I want to use column is I can say I want the column name, which is here, or the column number. If I name them the same, and that's why I said I want to keep them the same name, then this will work. Okay, well, actually it'll work if you don't, just because of the column name. It just makes it easier. But basically, if you do this, sorry, I'm lying. If I do that, then it will look at the column name and see if it matches the column. And that's what I want to use. And if it matches the column, then it's going to bring the data back. Now, the other version of that is column number, but that means they have to be in order. Okay, so whatever column you're looking at going to, which my columns are here, they would have to be in order. Now this one's not in order because I have this ID, and I kind of just didn't put them in order. So what I want is column name. Now you can even go beyond that if you didn't name them the same and just type in the name. So if I wanted, we're looking at order ship date, so this would be order shipped, if I spell it right, S-H-I-P-P-I-E-D, date. Okay, now if I run this, I get an error. Let's see, well, that's my problem. Valid column and did I get this right? Select all from. It's pretty embarrassing when you try to demo something and you explain how it works and you mess it up, huh? So let's just see if this is right. Go. Okay, so that's right. So order ship date. Or all right, so let's try this. I might have messed up something because I'm not thinking about it. But let's see if this one works. Yes. Okay, so that works. So I'm not sure why this one didn't work. Maybe I misspelled it. Order, O-R-D-E-R, shipped, date. Go. Yeah, okay, so I must have fat fingered something the first time. So my point is, if you don't have the column name to match the same, then you could type it in. That's why I want to use the column name. In this case, I'm just saying this because it is named the same. If you remember a few minutes ago when I was typing this out, I said I want to make sure the columns match. Now, what that gives you is then I can say save, and now I can just copy all these over. Copy all to right. Copy column, right, all, and now it filled in all of these. Now, theory, I don't need this one, and I don't need this one because test matching is going to handle those. Now, what we have is our order ship date, our product name, our order total. What am I missing? Account number. Oh. So I know what I was saying about ID. So I will take this one, and this goes to what I was saying. So on this ID, I think I want it to be my order ID. Yeah. So okay. So that one we can do this. Perfect. So I will have dupes, but that's fine because we'll have multiple products. But now we'll go. So now we got an ID. The truth is, I probably should have named that order ID, but I want it to be generic because it's going to be my ID. So then if somebody else looks at this, they'll say, oh, what's your ID? Oh, it's this one. I got it. Cool. So what we need is our ship date, our product name, our total, and our account number. So we can see the products that someone purchased that were shipped for this price. Okay? That's kind of what we're looking at. So now I'm going to save this. Yes. And we're going to do something cool. Well, first I want to test it. All right, that looks good. Product name, that's a total amount. It's pretty big for a phone, but okay. Account number and a ship date. All right. So now what we need to do is refresh. And now we need to publish. Now, the publishing gets kind of cool. So we're going to publish a target, which is fine. But you have the ability for the data painter a lot. And I'll talk a second to talk about the data painter. This is because you've seen this window everywhere. To me, this is one of the biggest benefits of TDM. Because if you're a developer or ever have been a developer, then you've seen regex editors. To me, this is like a regex editor. It only helps you to build out the values and the queries and the strings and all that. So instead of building out a regex script, it's building out a TDM script. Okay. So here, I need this to loop through and copy all the data from my view to my data mark. So the question is, well, Tim, how do you do that? Well, my answer is easy. We give you a script for that. So let me show you. We're going to go to SQL account. And again, my source. And here would be my view. Select all from order products. I better go check. I think it is, but let me just check. Because now I need to know everything from my view, right? My view should be over here. Nope. Are you my view? Nope. Are you my view? Nope. I got too many windows open, so let's just close them. Bye. And bye. Now you should be my view. Nope. Like a kid's cartoon now. Did I close the view? Aha. This is my view. Order payments. See, I think I would have missed that one. So let's go back over here, and I want to say select all from order payments. Now, the one thing I didn't talk about, and I probably will mention it if I don't forget, is always test your queries. Good. So now we got data back. So save. So what this is saying is I'm going to loop through this for how many records I have, and you should add it to my database. Now, if this works, there's one more thing I realized that is an error. I don't know if I call it an error, but we're going to avoid it as an error because I did find it a couple of times. Sometimes these null values, even though my database doesn't say don't look at nulls, sometimes it errors out because it won't bring it back in the query string. And what I mean by is these two. So this one, we'll go ahead and make it an empty string. Even though null is a value, sometimes that doesn't work either. But that's fine. We'll just use these empty strings because I know this works. Okay. So now we'll save. Yes. And I don't have to go back to the beginning. I'll just go back to here. Publish. But I do have to build this again. Great. So give me a second. This is, well, it's good lesson, right? Because that way you learn it. Count. We're going to do source. And it is select all from order payments, right? Ta-da. Okay. Save and publish. All right, so we are working. Perfect. So now we're done. So now what we're going to do is go look at our test mark. I could pull up SQL because I have it open, but let's just do it the way we're supposed to do it. So I'm going to go to my data source, which is here. It'd be in Target too, because it's the same thing, right? We made it the same. But the SQL windows is where you do your queries, for those who don't know. Okay. This one is my source, my target, and if you need to do your repository, that would be this one. Okay. And you'd be surprised. You do it more than you think. The repository, that is. And now I can go through here. My table should be my test mark. Now, I didn't show you there wasn't any data, but you all are pretty smart. So you know that if I just created this, which we did, then obviously there was no data in it. But guess what? Magic. Now there are. So now we have our account numbers. We have our IDs. And remember I said there's duplicates, but that's okay. Just for what we're trying to achieve. I have different products and different ship dates. Okay. Actually, those would be the same. This is the same order. Okay. Now, thinking that clearly, you probably wouldn't want to do this kind of querying. You'd probably want to find one where you don't have dupes. Unless my dupe was based off of, you know what, we probably should use product ID. But that's okay. This is only a demo anyway. But the point is, now we have test in our test mark. Now we can start building the next phase. So let's refresh this.